The formal aspect takes the shape of meditation. The informal aspect resides in applying mindfulness to all that we do. In both cases, awareness of our breath, in and out, in and out, is what anchors our experience respectfully in the present, for breath is always in the present. In his book, The Power of Now, Eckhart Tolle advocates breath as a means of centering ourselves in our bodies and of reconnecting with the real world, something that is ever more important as we often find this connection compromised by fast-paced modern living. Thich Nhat Hanh says, "Breath is the bridge which connects life to consciousness, which unites your body to your thoughts. Whenever your mind becomes scattered, use your breath as the means to take hold of your mind again." From The Miracle of Mindfulness by Thich Nhat Hanh, Beacon Press, 1987. Mindful baking. Successful baking requires us to be mindful. It needs us to be fully present with our activity, engaged in a flow that is impervious to distractions. It asks us to approach recipes with a beginner's mind, not assuming that everything will always go according to plan. This is the best plan when it comes to any kind of cooking, or indeed living. You may be baking in a different kitchen with a new oven. The cooking times will be different. Even changes in air temperature and humidity can affect the way in which bread dough rises from one day to the next. And there is always the possibility that a stray dog might break into your larder and wolf down half the ingredients, so that your meal plans have to change. With a beginner's mind approach, such fluctuations are more a source of surprise than annoyance. And annoyance is a seasoning that you don't want to let into your baking. Tapping into childhood experiences. As the head of food at Schumacher College in Devon, and one of the college's main bakers, I use my beginner's mind approach when my work doesn't go to plan. And I never forget memories of baking cakes with Doris, even though I am now playing on a much larger scale, producing more bread than cake, and doing a lot of organising as well. Part of the joy of working at a place that is a centre for transformative education for sustainable living is that wonderful, open-minded people from all over the world arrive on our doorstep. They join us in the kitchen, bringing freshness to all that we prepare. The eagerness to learn and give that flows from our participants is infectious and takes me back time and again to my childhood baking experiences. Amid the rush to get meals out on time, I find myself looking at things with new eyes and seeing new possibilities in familiar recipes. Cooking together becomes a bit like jamming, to use a musical term. It's an opportunity to be creative together, to share ideas. This element of play is something that we can all bring to our baking. It is an often forgotten aspect of the meditative approach that brings revitalization and joy. Playing with fire. Long ago, at the dawn of our written history, a great weight of importance was placed on the shoulders of Hestia, the ancient Greek goddess of the hearth and home. As a result of a bargain struck with her brother Zeus to remain a free woman, Hestia looked after the cooking for him, keeping the sacred fire at the centre of Mount Olympus burning. This made her accountable for nurture and underlined the age-old link between the art of the hearth and well-being. Today, it is still the archetypal warmth represented by Hestia's hearth that draws us close when we are hungry, cold, or even bored. It is the skillful use of this hearth that enables us to take nature's offerings and transform them into baked goods, which are perhaps the most tempting of all the foods that we have the pleasure to eat. When we bake with our modern ovens, we are in essence using the same primordial fire of old, and it requires respect, skill, and mindfulness about what we are making. Hazrat Inayat Khan says, "In preparing anything, one does not only put one's magnetism into it, but the voice of one's soul is produced in the thing one prepares. If the cook is irritated while cooking,